Hi, let's start I-400 Sen-Toku assembly. In the episode I am gonna work with photo-etched parts and start painting the ship. Before I even started the assembly, I spent a lot of time analyzing the instructions, especially comparing the instructions of the model itself and EDUARD's metal plates instructions. I've been thinking for a long time about the construction order, trying to avoid mistakes in painting that I made with the previous model. When it comes to photo-etched parts, I decided to mark in both instructions all places where it's necessary to replace or add these elements. On one of the instructions I marked the pages, and on the main instructions I marked the places where I have to remember about PE parts. At the beginning I started to assemble all the elements that are inside the hull. I also had to make holes for screw bolts. I made these holes with drill. First I used smaller drill. Then 1.6mm drill. The screw is slightly larger, so I had to enlarge the holes with a file. Then I placed the nuts and glued the covers with the extra thin glue. I decided to add plates to make the model more stable. Using CA glue, I pasted it in the middle of the bottom part of the hull. This model has a lot of moving parts, so you have to remember that not everything needs to be glued. As in this case, the rubber which stays inside will allow the submersion rudder to move. I decided to wash all the elements that will be painted in the future. They are well protected, but I washed them with water and dish soap anyway. Inside the hull I installed more rubbers that will allow the elements on the deck to move. I also decided to paint with the final color the elements that I won't have access to after gluing the hull. I pasted the mast at the stern and the crane for lifting seaplanes. You have to remember that the elements are movable and you need to be very careful with pasting them. After gluing the rudder element on the bow, I pasted the bow of part of the deck. After proper bending, I pasted the first P parts with a CE tool. The time has come to glue both whole parts together. The corrections that I had to make were really cosmetic. After perfect fitting, I glued both parts. For pasting mainly photo-etched parts, I decided to put the model on the stand. And started to decorate Sen-Toku. Initially, I took care of forming and pasting all elements that are bonded to the deck and must be on it before painting. Changing the scale of the model from 1 to 700 to 1 to 350, I thought that the elements I'll be working with would be a bit bigger, but as you can see that the additional P parts are very detailed and very small. Going all the way with the miniature elements, I decided to prepare more for painting. I also prepared the binoculars and placed them on patafix. Then I made some changes with the conning deck. After securing the previously painted crane and mast, I decided to paint the hull with grey primer. I put a thin layer, and after drying about 1 hour, I painted the ship's bottom. Of course, before painting I slightly warmed up the spray can to get a better coverage. So let's paint the deck. The instruction suggests mixing 3 paints in the mentioned proportions. That's what I wanted to do. After removing the protective tape, I started mixing the paints. From the colors given in the instructions, I had Tamiya XF64 paint. I chose the other 2 colors from Hataka. I diluted all the paints in the proportions you can see on the screen now. After mixing the paint, I found that the color is not good for me. In my opinion, it was too dark and too red. I brightened the color by adding yellow paint. By the way, of course, I exaggerated with the amount of this paint. It would be enough for me to paint the entire fleet of ships, I guess. But as I said, I am still learning, and let's say I misjudged the paint spreading rate. I started painting the decks. I was thinking a lot about the idea of making wooden decks on submarines. There was probably some economic reasons. It's known that wood is a cheaper material, or the fact that it's harder to sleep on such a deck, but I haven't found other reasons for which wooden decks were built on subs. I also read that Sen-Toku deck was covered in very dark grey paint. However, I decided to follow the suggestion from the instruction and intentionally display the wooden deck. If you have any thoughts of mounting these wooden decks on submarines or have any knowledge about it, please share it in the comments. As you can see, I've changed the brush to a smaller one. While painting the deck elements at the moment, I wasn't worried about some inaccuracies, because in the future I will mask the entire wooden deck and paint the ship with spray. The paint dries very quickly. After about half an hour I decided to put a second layer. I was satisfied with the color I get and the quality of the decks. I must admit that the level of detail is high. Then I decided to get this deck a bit dirty. I tasted wash on the parts which will be covered anyway. Then gradually put it on board. I didn't protect the deck with varnish before. I wanted to get some shades and minor scratches on the deck. Put a fairly even coat on the deck to make the gaps between planks even more visible. Then I put wash irregularly to get more shades. Before it dried properly, I decided to make some scratches. Using a stick, I tried to create some natural looking medium used deck. And this is the effect I got. That's all for today. See you in about a week. Stay healthy, stay at home, and maybe assemble a model. Bye.